Hi, my name is Sydney. I'm 25. I'm non-binary. My pronouns are they, them, she, her, he, him, whatever it is, as long as it's not mean. I love animals. I'm an occultist. I am an artist. And I am a bartender at my local bars around town where I live in New Mexico, United States. I'm currently about a year and a half into orthodontic braces. I just had 4 wisdom teeth pulled out and 4 premolars extracted a week ago. This is my story. Okay, so some of y'all were unhinged on my last video and for some reason are taking an interest in my life. So I'm gonna do a little Q&A based on the questions that like 3 people asked, but the fact that anybody asked questions at all is like kind of amazing to me. Also, happy Cinco de Mayo, because I'm using my boyfriend's camera and the less time I use it, the better. It's also got really big video files, so. Okay, who are your favorite YouTubers? Park Rose Permaculture is one I've been enjoying a lot lately. MME, they do some really great redraw videos and like drawing videos, and I really enjoy their style. I use a lot of their stuff as screensavers on my laptop. Fran Meneses, I've been following her for years, and it's really interesting watching her story develop over these most recent years, because I feel like I've known her for a very long time just because I've been following her for a very long time. I love Kayakasaurus. Kayakasaurus is a good one. Again, I love the art, I love the dinosaurs. Songkyung Longest, Korean cooking channel. Love her recipes. Worthy Kids. Top ones. Of course, top ones. Chaotic Witch Aunt and Olivia Graves, The Witch of Wonderlust. Love both of them. Lemon Collie, they have a really great channel where they post art stuff. Basically, my YouTube watching stuff is political, art, and cooking. Do you play any video games? Not very often, but ones that I do really enjoy would be Elden Ring. I'm currently playing through Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. I also really enjoy Ark: Survival Evolved. And right now I'm playing Split Fiction with my boyfriend. What made me start a YouTube channel? I've grown up watching YouTube, and I think when I was a kid my biggest dream was to be a YouTube creator. I started my YouTube channel majority with like art videos and kind of documenting my art process. Only recently, in the last like year and a half, have I started putting out like braces content, and that's just because I have braces and it's really just for me to document the process, but the fact that people are interested in this and are tuning in and kind of care now is actually really cool, so I appreciate that. What is your favorite tattoo you have? So there were a couple of tattoo questions, so I'll answer them all sort of together. What my favorite one is, I've only got 2, and this one is separate from this one. So this one, this single line here, is one that I got in Mexico, and this one is one that I got in Indonesia. So I would have to say, I mean, I like them both for different reasons. The first one, it was my first, so it's favorite because of that, and the second one is more ornate, and I love it because of that. Essentially, my plan with this arm is to do an entire sleeve of rings and bands for every time that I leave the country and get it done in that country. So I got, like I said, this one was Mexico and this one was Indonesia, and yeah, so I want to have a power arm of all the different countries that I visited. Any advice for getting first tattoo? I'm getting an ankle tattoo in 3 weeks. Do you have any ankle tattoos too? If so, can you show them? I do not have any ankle tattoos. This arm is the only place that I have tattoos. My advice for getting my first tattoo, everybody has different pain tolerance. I've been told I have a high one. I don't really know how true that is. My advice would be to hydrate and to moisturize your skin in that area, especially for the tattoo, because that's just going to make the quality of your skin better for the tattoo artist. Don't be too worried about pain, because especially if it's small, it won't take very long, If you're a little bit of a masochist like me, then you can kind of drift back into like a euphoric state for a lot of it. And so it's like a bonding process with your tattoo and your tattoo artist. So I think that's pretty cool. Don't be scared. I was really scared at first, and it does hurt. Don't let anybody tell you it doesn't hurt, but it's not the worst thing in the world. As soon as I got my tattoos, it's like I've had them forever, so like immediately they're a part of you. Which countries would I like to visit? Basically all of Europe. I'd love to visit Italy, I'd love to visit Spain, and I guess France, England, Scotland, Ireland, like the majority of Europe. I'd like to visit some of the Slavic countries. Obviously right now I wouldn't want to visit Russia, and for other and related reasons I don't want to visit Ukraine, but I would love to visit Ukraine one day once it's like safe to go there, and I hope that's sooner rather than later. Basically I want to travel the entire world, as many places as I can. Probably be easier to say what countries I don't want to visit, and those would be the ones currently at war, whichever ones those end up being. I want to go as many different places as I can because I love to travel, and like I said, I'm building my arm. What are my favorite clothing stores? The thrift store. That's where I generally buy most of my clothing. At this moment, this shirt I got while I was in Indonesia at the Komodo Museum, and I love animals and lizards and art, so this was a hard sell for me. But yeah, by the majority of the clothes that I wear all come from thrift stores or are given to me. So, what pets do you have? At this moment in time, I have one dog. Her name is Wendy, and she's a sweet baby corgi, picture here. I also have a blue-tongued skink. His name is Ditto. How would your friends best describe you? I'd love to know the answer to that question. I think they would say I'm nice and that I care about people, I hope, and that I am very sincere. That's my best guess. What is my biggest pet peeve? There are so many things that annoy me about so many people in so many different ways. I'm very irritable, but let me think. Is when I feel like people aren't listening to me, even though I have something important or worthwhile to say, so not being listened to, I guess would be my pet peeve. Favorite foods. I love food, which is why at the moment I'm struggling quite a bit with my tooth extraction because I can't eat anything, really. I have to drink all of my food, and that's becoming less fun as the days go on. So, favorite foods. I love Indian food, I love Mexican food, I love Italian food, I love Greek food. I'm not really a hamburgers type of person, but I love a good curry. I love Japanese food. I don't eat a lot of Chinese food. I really like Vietnamese food. I haven't had a ton of French cooking, not entirely too much, but from what I've tasted of French cooking, I like it. I haven't had a lot of African food, but I'm more than willing to try a lot more of it. I love Middle Eastern food, and I love to cook. I love to cook, and I love to eat, and I love to eat at places, and I love to travel and eat food there. To more tooth-related questions. Was it scary waiting in the dental chair to be put to sleep, and does the IV leave a mark in your arm? It does leave a mark in your arm. I've had an IV put in a couple different times on a couple different occasions. I'll insert a picture here of the IV that was put in my arm, or the prick from the IV that was put in my arm for the sedation for this. Was it scary waiting in the dental chair to be put to sleep? Yes. I was scared, and I don't know if I was scared for the same reasons that other people are. I was more scared for the body horror aspect of it, in that I'm going to sleep and people are going to be touching me and doing things to my body while I am unaware of it. And even though I have agreed to this in several different ways, both written and verbal, it is still alarming to not have that autonomy over my own body, and that other people are doing things to me in my sleep. So for that reason, it was scary for me. But as soon as the drugs kicked in, I didn't get much out of the experience, and pretty much completely pain-free. So what type of videos do you enjoy filming the most? Like, I have a lot of ideas and I have a lot of thoughts, but most of them I feel like are still being formed and still changing, and so I don't feel like I have much of a place to go online and start just spouting off whatever pops into my head, because I don't feel like that's necessarily productive or helpful. So the videos I enjoy filming the most is when I know I have something to say and I know I have a good point to make. This one is off the rails. What do you think is the safest way for animal control to catch a big bear on the loose in the neighborhood? Safest? Probably tranquilizer darts. I don't know what the current zeitgeist for bear catching is, but I would say tranquilizer darts and then let them go sleepy time and then go and pick them up. What color socks do you currently wear? Are they matching or odd? Most people wear odd nowadays, and prove it, lol. Right now I'm wearing these pink and gray Jurassic Park socks because I love Jurassic Park and my boyfriend bought these for me. Again, most of the clothes I wear are given to me. And then here's the other foot for proof that I'm wearing matching socks. I do have a tendency to wear mismatching socks just because I have my own superstitions about fairies not being able to kidnap you if your clothes are inside out or mismatching. So for my own things that I'm weird, you should know that already, but I do tend to wear mismatched and inside out clothing and not care because of that little superstition of mine. You never know. What are your goals for your YouTube channel? Goals? 500 subscribers. Let's say 500 subscribers. That'd be cool. If at any point in time I was able to make money off of YouTube regularly, that would be awesome. Especially if people were coming onto my videos and watching them, not just because they like me, but because they like my art. My art is the main thing that I've always wanted a YouTube channel for. And so speed paints is where I started. But it seems like most people really want just the braces stuff, so I'll keep making that as long as it's relevant and realistic. What is your biggest achievement so far in life? So for context, I was homeschooled, and I was homeschooled very unconventionally. And so because of that, I ended up living a much more sheltered life than even most homeschooled kids would. So to me, my biggest achievement in life is having a boyfriend, having a dog, and living on my own in an apartment with both of them. So I'm currently living my best life, even though I'm pretty much flat broke. Any big plans for 2025? Survive. If you know what's going on right now, and you really should, surviving is one of my biggest plans. I would love to release my book. I'm writing a book about occult practices and prehistoric fossils. So if that's something that you're interested in, stay tuned, because I'm writing and illustrating the entire thing and self-publishing it myself. So other than that, I have a vegetable garden out front of the apartment here, and I'm really excited for it to be kicking off this year. So those are my big plans for 2025. What are your favorite movies? So like I said, I was homeschooled, so I had a lot of time at home. And I ended up watching a lot of movies. And I still enjoy watching a lot of movies to this day. I watch a lot of movies with my family and with my partner. I'll give a top 10. Fifth Element, Jurassic Park, generally horror movies. I love horror movies, and bad horror movies. So some of my favorites are Neil Breen, Blade Runner 2049, Mad Max Fury Road, 3,000 Years of Longing, The Secretary, Nymphomaniac Volume 1. Volume 2 is also good, but Volume 1 is kind of where it's at. I'm gonna put Kiki's Delivery Service and Spirited Away. And Porco Rosso. Did you get your wisdom teeth removed? Yes. If so, any funny stories? I was at the parking lot for Walgreens. My mom went in to get my medication, and I had to keep opening up the car door to let blood come out of my mouth, because my mouth was full of blood and spit. And the third time I did it, a pharmacist walked by and was like, oh, fun. That's it. Besides that, nothing really funny happened with my wisdom teeth. I was mostly just tired and tired, so I slept and struggled. Was it fast to be put to sleep in the dentist chair? I'm terrified. So yes, I went to my oral surgeon. I didn't go to my dentist, mostly because I think my dentist is a bozo and I don't trust him to perform surgery on me. But that all being said, it was really, really fast to be put asleep in the chair. It happened pretty quickly. I was scared, so they gave me oxygen first, and then they gave me nitrous, which is laughing gas, and I kind of felt something there, and then I saw the doctor come in, and he said hi, and then pretty much as soon as he came in, he squirted the happy juice, as he called it, into the IV drip bag, and within about 10 seconds, I felt it hit me, and I just like, ugh, and they rolled me back in the chair. And then I basically kind of fell asleep for the next hour, being semi-conscious enough to like kind of open my eyes every once in a while and see like that there were people above me, but not really able to do anything about it. Don't worry, you will be out like a light, pretty much. Being scared isn't gonna help. Just breathe. You're gonna be okay. What TV shows do you watch? Just recently finished watching the Berserk 3D animated series, which sounds bad and rough, and it is, but the story is so good that it's like I can give a pass on how ugly it looks most of the time. We're currently going through regular show. I've never watched it when I was a kid. Again, sheltered, homeschooled, so I never watched that, but I'm enjoying that right now. I really liked Squid Games, season 1 and 2. Monster, I enjoy anime of different varieties. I really like Always Sunny in Philadelphia. I've watched so much Always Sunny in Philadelphia that the characters have become recurring characters in my dreams, and that's a good problem to have. Earth Marenghi's Dark Place, it's a classic. Gotta watch it every year for Halloween. I'm fixing to watch Dungeon Meshi at some point. Do your friends and family know about your YouTube channel? It's no big secret or anything like that. What types of music do you like? That is best answered with a quick scroll through my YouTube music homepage. Hosier. I love Hosier. I've been enjoying Ghost and Sleep Token lately. I like Paris Paloma, Sade when the mood strikes, Kiki Rockwell when the mood strikes, Arctic Monkeys, Lola Young, She Wants Revenge, Cake, Childish Gambino, Florence and the Machine, Black Pumas. I like movie soundtracks also. The Black Keys. I like some more obscure stuff, and I generally enjoy a lot of alt and alt rock, but I also will clean the house listening to like Mexican cleaning lady music. James Brown. The occasional Glass Animals. I'm not huge into them, but occasionally. Playlists on my YouTube channel that you could probably find if you go scrolling through it, and you can see some of the stuff that I listen to. What was your favorite subject at school? Homeschooled, so really, and so my mom was really overwhelmed, and I found out more recently that she's autistic, and I am autistic by default, and I also have ADHD. And so that puts a lot of context as to why my homeschooling was even more unconventional than just homeschooling. Is autistic and raising 3 kids at the same time at different school levels. So she became overwhelmed very, very quickly, and she could only hold out for so long. So the only subject that I studied was math. And I'm terrible at math to this day. I have like a photographic memory, so I just pull from a cheat sheet in my head most of the time. My favorite subjects in school, because I was allowed to kind of guide my own education from a fair amount of my childhood, art and psychology. Have you seen any bands or artists in concert? Yes, I have seen Hosier, I have seen Lindsey Sterling, Evanescence, Hailstorm, Ghost, Genesis, Shinedown, Godsmack, and a lot of opening bands. So Red Light Cameras, they're a local one here in New Mexico. What's been your worst injury you've ever had? I'll give you my top 3. First one being last year when I broke my face. I was riding a motorized Lime bicycle on the streets of Denver, Colorado, and I ended up slamming my face into a steel power box and breaking my inferior orbit right here under my eye. My face swelled up, I was spitting out blood, ended up breaking the inferior orbit and rupturing my sinus cavity on this side of my face. I've since healed from it. Like I said, it's been a year. I have a little bit of nerve damage still in like this area of my face, and it tickles a little bit when I put makeup on that eye, but aside from that, I've healed up from that pretty well. And then the other two worst injuries would be when I broke my knee and my sprained my knee and my ankle on the same leg at different times. And then bonus round, I did fall off of a bike when I was 15, and I had to be rushed to the hospital, and I ended up banging up my head. I got scars on this shoulder. I have scars on this shoulder too from it, and a little bit of nerve damage on my hip. What do you look for when making new friends? So, I'm trying to go into 2025, and I know we're 5 months in now, but I'm trying to go into 2025 with the mantra, if they can't swallow you, let them choke. But more than anything, I am not trying to make friends with people who don't make my life better. So if they're not actually adding anything quality to it, I'm not going to bother. And so because of that, I don't have a ton of friends. And people are lovely, but they all have their own problems, and I'm trying to get better at making real friends, but again, because I was homeschooled, I haven't got a lot of practice in that. So I'm just trying to go for quality rather than quantity. And more than anything, I like people who are very compassionate and who are very present. So if they hear me when I speak, essentially, and you'd be surprised how many people will just ignore you when you're talking. When people hear you when you speak and they listen and then they remember. Sounds general, but those are the people that I look for because it's not actually as common as you'd think. And then finally, the big question, does pineapple belong on pizza? Yes, it does. In my house, all pizza toppings are welcome as long as you don't force other people to eat the pizza that you're eating. You can put whatever you want on pizza, and I personally do enjoy pineapple on pizza. Let people live their lives. Yeah, so I think that wraps up our Q&A. Thank you everybody who asked questions, all three of you, and you all asked like several questions each, so it was enough to film a video for, so thank you for that. If y'all have any more questions based on the answers I gave today, you can leave that in the comments, and if there's enough, I will make another Q&A video. So until then, I'll see y'all later, and thank you for watching.